Hello and welcome back to the Ward Law Class Calendar video tutorial series. This is the second video for formatting the calendar for the beginning of a school year. And in this video, our goal is to add holidays and specific Ward Law School events to the calendar before the actual room parents take the calendar and make it specific for each classroom. So I'm going to open up the documents that were sent and I have saved on my desktop from before, which is the calendar itself and the actual clip art file. It makes it easy just to copy and paste. And I've begun working on this calendar, so I'm going to scroll down and you'll see where I've added in some of the boxes from the calendar that was sent of actual events and specific dates for the Ward Law School calendar. I'm also going to be adding in holidays and such that aren't necessarily on the Ward Law School calendar. So that's where I use the timeanddate.com or your device for specific holidays like Labor Day and things like that. So this is the first month, in August. And if you scroll down, I've gone down to September. I've added such things as open house, which would be on the Ward Law calendar that was sent by Jean. Also, things like Labor Day may be on that calendar, but you might want to also look and make sure there weren't any specific holidays you want to add just to keep the calendar with national holidays as well. And this is October, and then November. And you can see I've added specific things, even on the weekends, that we're doing for school. Now we get down to December, and this is where we're going to start working on this video, just to show you some quick examples of how easy it is to click into the box and add specific dates. So when I look at the calendar that I have on my desk, the first entry in December is December 3rd and 4th. We have conferences. So I'm going to go over to my clip art because I have a lot of this already saved on the clip art. And you can just highlight it and hit Command or Control C for copy. And then you're going to go back to the calendar where you clicked in and hit Command or Control V to paste it. Same thing for the next day, which is 2 days of conferences. And then there's no students on those days, so you can add no students as well. Copy that, go back, make sure your cursor is where you want it, and hit Command or Control V and paste it. And same thing on the next day. You want to make sure you save your work as you're working so that you don't lose anything. That is the simple way to add things in, is to copy and paste or to physically type in the words, which are fine. To resize something, you can highlight it. You can go up to here and change the size of it and make it smaller, which is completely fine to do as well. There's going to be, depending on each classroom, there may be a reason to make some days smaller than others. But usually when there's no school, there's not a lot of activities that need to go into that specific box, so you can kind of leave it bigger so it's easier to read. And you can change the color, you can change the font type. It's really up to you to personalize the calendar in that way, but it just makes it easy if some of this is just already done and you can copy and paste. So that's December 3rd and 4th. So next we're going to continue looking at our calendar for Ward Law that we have printed out, that we received in the email, and continue putting specific dates in here. So the next one I see is December 20th. There's a chorus concert, and I'm going to click over and see if there's some entries into my clip art. Scroll down. And here's the chorus concert, and it's in Love Auditorium at 8:15. I'm highlighting it, I'm copying it, going back to my calendar, clicking into where I was. If the cursor is flashing, you can just hit Command V. And you can make sure that it looks appropriate within the box. And if it's got different sizes, you can change it, or you can change that it's all caps. You can change the color. You can change the size by going up to the font and changing any of this. Just depending on what each box may need after you paste it, you can change it easily. And then you want to make sure you save your work, and you want to continue down. The winter holidays begin on December 21st, and there's an early dismissal on that Friday. So we want to make sure that we write the early dismissal and the time on there. I'm going over to my clip art and scrolling down to see if there's any early dismissal times written in here, just to see if I can command or control copy paste. So I see that it says early release here. I'm going to highlight this, copy it, go back, and then I'm going to paste it into there. And it's 12 p.m. for this date. That way you have the time in there. And then there's a little clock that's a piece of clip art. So you can also begin adding clip art in by just highlighting it like so, copying it, Command C or Control C, going back, and then again adding it into the box. I don't like exactly where that was. There we go. So it's got a little clip art within the box, says early release. And then we know that the winter holidays are going to be after that. So we're going to go back, save our work, and then scroll down onto the clip art page where it says winter holidays. I'm going to click into that and it highlights it. And I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to look on my calendar and place the cursor to the edge here. And then you hit Command or Control V, and you can actually stretch this as long as you need to for the length of the calendar. And I know this isn't centered, so you can actually click into the winter holidays here and hit the tab button and center it so it looks a little better in the center portion. You can click off of it, and you can also click back onto it and move it again just to make it look a little better. So that's the first week of the winter holidays. Make sure you save that because we're going to go to the next month now into January, in which they actually continue into January because school doesn't start back until January 7th of this year. So I'm going to click into the box again here, and I'm going to do the same exact Command V or Control V, and I'm going to center it again exactly like I did before, just to cover this whole week that we're still out on winter break. And I'm resizing it. I'm clicking in front of the actual wording to tab over and center it. You could also resize it if you wanted to. That's just a personal thing, how you go up there. So the school's going to start back on the 7th for teachers, but it's actually a planning day. It's not actually the day school reopens. So you want to make sure that you put in that it's a planning day. So you can scroll and look for any of the entries that say Wardlaw Planning Day, no students, and copy that. And I usually like to copy it one at a time, just so it'll fit into that small box, and paste it, and go back, and it'll say no students here. You can highlight it, and copy it, and same thing, paste it back. I don't like the way that looks, so I click in front of the N, hit the backspace, and then make sure you save your work. School will reopen this day, so that's what you're going to paste into the next box, will be that school reopens after the winter holidays. And you'll see here it says reopens for Wardlaw. School reopens for Wardlaw. I should click that button too. Highlight it all, copy it, paste it, and then you just want to click in front of the buttons so that it looks centered. Save your work, and that's all you have to do. You just continue doing that for the rest of the calendar. There'll be a band like this for spring break you can put across a week whenever you're out a long period of time. It helps to add a colorful band across the calendar just to give those dates blanked out, because there's usually nothing that the room parent needs to type into those boxes. And that is how you format the second part of the calendar to begin a new school year. The next step will be the actual room parents will modify this calendar for each specific classroom and make it specific for each class. Thanks for watching.